Welcome back to Giggle and Grow with Morgan.
And Courtney. We are so happy to be here today, and we're going to make this a quick one because we don't have much time, but we still want to talk to everybody and we want to be consistent with what we're doing. But Morgan, Colorado had their first freeze last week. And it's so funny now that I've been here for 3 years. This is what I wanted to tell you about was that ever since I moved to Colorado and the freeze comes, I actually have gotten really organized, and I go immediately after the first freeze, and that's when I change over my closet. I take all my winter clothes out and I put away all my summer clothes. And it's something so, I don't know, fun about being able to change your clothes because winter is coming, and it's like you walk outside and the air is just like thinner. It almost feels like Christmas in a weird way. But yeah, we had our first freeze. And Morgan, I'm just curious, do you do that? Do you switch over your clothes, or is that just a me thing?
I feel like I have a big enough closet now where I can kind of have like my winter on one side, my summer on the other. Now in the past, that definitely was not the case. I definitely was someone that had to put all my summer clothes in a bin for the summer so my winter clothes could fit on my in my closet, and then of course vice versa. But I need to be better about kind of just pushing out the old and bringing in the new when it comes to my clothes. I go way too long without reorganizing or going through the clothes that I have in there. I honestly will wait like probably 3 years to then be like, okay, I haven't worn this for so long. I just need to get rid of it. But I hold on to it like that one day I want it, I'm not going to have it. And then I'm going to be upset because I have to go buy a new one.
That's so funny because I think of that all the time. I'm like, that's exactly how I picture myself. I picture myself wearing the clothes if I'm about to give it away. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be too cute. I can't give it away.
No, I know. And then I never wear it. It just sits there, and I don't wear that outfit in SPO. I hear a lot of people will say they do that every few months, though, where they'll kind of do that closet clean out. If you haven't worn it for a year, you get rid of it and then bring in something new. Do you do that?
No. So I've actually heard, this is so funny. This just came up to I was just thinking about this. My friend back in Kentucky, she knows a girl who, what she'll do is she has like a bigger closet. You kind of, I think, would have to do this for a bigger closet. But if you have more of an open closet, you put all of your clothes out for like whether you want to do it winter or summer, but you put all your clothes out at the beginning of the year and you put them on a hanger facing this way. When you wear it, you change the hanger backwards. And so that that you've actually worn that. And then at the end of the year, if you haven't turned the hanger backwards, you get rid of all those clothes that you didn't wear that year because you have them facing forwards, if I'm making sense.
That does make sense. That is so smart.
It's so smart, but I've never been able to successfully do it. So if anybody ever does it, you should comment below and tell us if it's a good idea. I mean, it would be a good New Year's resolution.
Honestly, we should both try that, and we'll come back next year and let y'all know how that works.
Yeah, right. I found that just donating your clothes helps, and just saying, no, I'm going to give this to donation. It helps me with saying, oh, well, I'm just going to throw this out. I think donating them really helps me feel better about being like, I don't need this, I don't have a big closet. So there's sometimes where I just have to make space for it. And so by donating my clothes, I don't feel as bad because I always think like, oh, well, somebody else will look really cute in this and they'll benefit from it. And so I don't need it,
Do you and your fiance, do you guys share a closet or do you have your own closet?
We share a closet. We're actually working on he's going to make it bigger, hopefully, but we share a pretty small closet. But hey, I'm just grateful for what I have, No,
that's so fair. So when Sam and I moved into our first apartment moving out to Colorado, we had a really, really tiny closet, but then we had a guest bedroom. That was the first time I could say, Sam, your clothes are not going in my closet and they're getting pushed to the other one. And it was so great. We do share a closet now, but like I said, we have a much bigger one than we've ever had before. So we do share one now. I was just curious if you guys, because you do share, whenever your clothes do get to be too much and you can't fit anything new in there, do you think, oh, I need to get rid of clothes, or do my husband need to get rid of his
Oh,
clothes?
that's such a good question. That's so funny. I'm always thinking I need to get rid of clothes because
Yeah.
I always have too many clothes. So it's never really him. It's funny, like he has the same pair of shorts that he's had for probably 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, every new season, I'm like, oh, I need a new pair of shorts. And my mom loves to spoil me. So my mom loves to go thrift shopping and find things for like $2, $3 at a thrift store that will originally, like this Madewell shirt. It was probably like a $45, $50 shirt that she got me for $3 at a thrift store. Cause you can find so many good things at thrift stores.
I am not a thrifter. I wish I could get into it. I don't have the patience for just sifting through a bunch of clothes. But I promise you, ever since moving to Colorado, whenever I ask someone where did they get that shirt or the top or pants, they're always like, thrift store. I'm like, oh, I can't hear that. That makes me sad. You can't leak
Yeah,
it.
thrift stores are all of the hype here in Denver, I think, because a lot of there's upper end thrift stores though down in downtown Denver, and a lot of them are even one of our friends. She goes to Goodwill in downtown Denver, and a lot of the clothes that are there are pretty good. And I think there are a lot of higher end thrift stores because they only take really nice quality older Levi's, you know, older jackets, maybe Carhartt, things like that, that will only take the nicer things that actually hold quite a bit of value, or not even value. You can wear more than once, multiple
Yeah.
times, something that holds up. And so I think that that's a really big thing here that I've noticed that's very different from when I lived in Kentucky.
Oh, same, especially with Iowa too. I mean, don't get me wrong. For football games and stuff, when we had to do some DIY and we would go to a Goodwill and find stuff, but it was not like the things you found in Denver at the Goodwills. I did just
Mm-hmm.
hear, because I know back in Iowa Goodwill, we were able to kind of give anything to them and they would take it, where here it is very different, where they take more of that higher end. I almost kind of think of our Goodwills or even Arcs as kind of like Play-Doh closets nowadays, where Play-Dohs would
Mm,
kind of sift through it all. I'd be like, why are
yes.
you taking that $100 North Face I just gave you? Like, you're really telling me no?
Yeah, I remember that. Plato's Closet is the worst.
Gosh.
Everybody goes there thinking they're gonna make like $100, and you
Yeah.
walk out with $4.35, and you're like, oh, okay, they only bought one t-shirt, or
Yep.
yeah, Plato's Closet is tough to sell too.
It so is. Oh my gosh. Now that you're like on the topic, or that you brought up earlier about the cold and the kind of snow time in Colorado,
Yeah.
I was just thinking, I mean, I truly am just so excited for it though, like how we get to dress up in
Hmm.
our comfy clothes and we can
Yep.
get all warm and put on the fireplace. I mean, I don't know, maybe it was because I grew up in Iowa with all four seasons, but I have a love for snow, and Colorado is just like makes it even better. I mean, are you
Yeah.
excited for the cold?
Yes, I am. I totally am. I think I'm very excited for skiing. I do just get this sense every time when the cold starts to hit, it just reminds me. I don't know why, but like I said, it takes me back to Christmas. And Christmas reminds me of being around family and the ones you love. I hope that people get to experience that during Christmas. I will say that sometimes Denver and Colorado's cold lasts so long that I get to a point where I'm like, I am over this. I'm ready for summer. But I think this year I'm just excited to get to Kentucky for Christmas. So experiencing that with my fiance and seeing my family, and then also getting to hopefully ski a little bit more this season. You know, one of the things is suicide rates actually go up during wintertime because people tend to become more and more depressed, because around Christmas time, you hear all these songs that's like, it's the most happiest time of the year. And so I think sometimes people can feel excluded when they don't feel really, really happy. That when you are feeling pretty low during these Christmas holiday or Thanksgiving because you can't be with your family, finding other people in your community to spend that time with is really helpful, because before I really had people to spend it with, I had certain communities and people that I would see on those days. because you can feel very lonely during Thanksgiving and Christmas and all those times, even, Valentine's Day, New Year's, all of those holidays that are coming up that happen in the winter. The whole world makes you feel like you have to be happy, but sometimes you're just not, and you're sad and you're away from family, or you maybe don't have a family or going through something. What I've found is that by reaching out to your local community and trying to, be a part of that, that really helps you not feel lonely in those months to come.
I totally agree with that. And I think that was something I learned when my husband and I moved to Colorado. I mean, we were thankful and fortunate enough to have one another. And it was so great because it was our first kind of Christmas holiday season where it was just the two of us. We weren't worried about family. We weren't worried about friends. We got to kind of start creating our own tradition. But I still kind of felt that loneliness. And at the time, I thought that was wrong because I'm like, I have my most favorite person next to me, but it was a huge change. I mean, I didn't have my college friends around to spread the holiday cheer. I didn't have my family around who usually is waking up at the crack of dawn with breakfast cooking and presents ready to go and movies on. And honestly, I find those friends that are near you. I mean, even if it's one or two or three people, maybe they have their family out here, ask to join their holiday adventures.
Yes.
You just know, most people are more than welcome to bring you in. And that's what we did for my friends. We did that when we didn't have our family or they were busy doing stuff. We brought people over the next day. It's just creating your own little community, whether that is like what Courtney said, getting out and doing something, maybe if you don't have friends, or bring those friends together and have your own little Christmas, because sometimes those memories end up being more cherishable than you even imagine amongst the feelings of loneliness and loss and what you might be experiencing. So,
yeah, I agree. And I think all of those are good points. And I think just reminding yourself that you don't need family all the time to feel happy, and it's okay also to feel sad when you're not around your family in those moments, but just try to find a community or people around you, and just remember you're not alone. That's the biggest tip that I can give you, I think, in those times. And it's all about mindset and where you are here in your head. And if you can try and keep your mindset positive, then I truly believe that you'll be happy in those moments.
I totally agree. And if you are someone that just is more introverted, doesn't want to get out and about and be around friends, start creating your own traditions too. Have fun with it. Don't maybe think of it so much as loneliness or that I'm alone on this season, but hey, I get to actually turn this moment around. I get to make this Christmas however I want to make it without worrying about anyone else's opinions. And you just do you. I mean, go on that Christmas movie, make that extravagant dinner if it takes you 6 hours, do it for yourself.
Yes.
Because it's a whole new other adventure about yourself you get to discover too and create. So
no,
yeah.
I agree. And I think just going, yeah, like you said, going to the movie, if you go to the movies by yourself, make experience by yourself even. And like one of the things I was thinking is make cookies, do things that you would do. Yeah, bake, make cookies, do things for yourself, be there with yourself. And well, I know we're talking all fun things, holiday and spirit, but I wanted to hop back to the cold weather and talk about a little bit about how my garden stopped producing stuff. It was crazy. I had this incredible garden in the side of our house, and the garden after we had our first freeze just pretty much died. And I know that that's normal, but it was like my first experience ever watching nature and something that I worked on really hard grow and thrive and then just die. And that was pretty interesting concept to realize, like, that, the circle of life, weirdly enough. But we ended up taking a lot of the arugula and the tomatoes and a last of my jalapenos, and we made probably 6 jars this big of pesto, and I made 4 jalapeno jelly jars this big. So I have some fun Christmas gifts I'll be giving out early.
I call the pesto.
You want pesto?
No. I love that.
Okay. I'll give you a big literal 8 ounce of pesto. And the thing about pesto is you can freeze it and you can have it for a really long time. And so we have a lot. Yeah, you can freeze it and you can have it for a really long time. So we freeze a lot of our pesto. And I was laughing, I was joking with my fiance, and I said, well, if some type of doomsday happens or the zombie apocalypse, then we will have enough pesto to live if we need it for 3 years. But
Just like little spoonfuls of pesto every.
yes, just like eating little. And the fun thing is, we used really good cheese this time to make the pesto, and he used different types of cheese for different types of pesto.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so, yeah, you'll have to come over and do taste tests. I mean,
Okay, deal.
next year we're doing a farmer's market. We've decided we're probably only going to do one or two, but I mean, we need to combine, everything we're doing. But we're doing one because he has his hot sauce and his pesto brand, and I make jalapeno jelly and I make pickles. So I was thinking, and pickled jalapenos. So I was thinking I could make all of those. He can make his. We're only going to have a little bit, but I think it would be fun to try it.
Oh, that
And you
would
can
be
join
so
with
fun.
us.
And I will be there. I'll be cheering you on. I'll have some jalapeno pepper jelly. I got you.
Yay. And we can set out Mo Smiles sweatshirts, all
Deal.
the
That
fun
is cool
things.
next year. I do definitely hope to be at farmers markets next year with Most Smiles. So everyone keep tuned and stay in
Yeah.
touch so you guys can see all that. But no, that is so much fun. I love that. I just saw this post the other day actually about the weather and just things dying and even like this leaves falling. And it's the same thing that kind of happens in our own lives. Like we can't have those big sunny days without the trenches and the cold and the rain. And although this might be a really hard time for a lot of people to kind of get into those colder months, guys, just remember that, like Courtney said, it's a circle of life. Even the weather, the trees, nature all have to go through that too. And we do as well. So if you're anyone like me who kind of feels a little bit organized chaos or emotional instability, I'm right there with you, y'all. The dark days kind of throw me off and get me in this funk, but we're all in it together, and we can really stay in tune with ourselves when we start to become more aware of how we truly are feeling, and we can walk our ways through that. Courtney is a blessing in my life. She's someone that helps me do that. I hope you guys have someone in your life that can kind of keep you on tune too. So
Yeah.
just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, no, well, I love it. And I think honestly, we're wrapping up anyways. And I had fun chatting with you today. And I hope you guys like our new season and what we've been putting out there. We're still working on finding our photographer, but it's going to be a lot more like this, a lot more talkative and fun, and just about, where our lives are, what we're going through. Hopefully you guys like it and you keep tuning in, subscribing, following our Instagram at Giggle and Grow Pod. Yeah, check us out again next 2 weeks. We love you guys.
Love you. See you soon.
Bye.